Welcome back to the channel. Today I am talking about a long trip I'm about to go on, 30 plus or minus a couple days, 30 days trip, going all the way to Alabama and points beyond and points in between. Today's video though is how I prepare the Jeep. I'm going to clean it basically. I'm going to get it all cleaned up. I got to put the shelf back in, and then I'm going to show you guys how I pack everything. We hit a little bit on where things go when we did the gear video, but this time I'm going to show you all the gear, then I'm going to show you where it all goes, so hang in there. As you can see, this thing is filthy. So what I'm going to do before I even start anything else is clean it out. Then we're going to put the shelf back in. Then I'll show you where everything goes. Alright, so we're almost done vacuuming, almost done cleaning up. We'll get that shelf in. And by the way, the JL's fold down rear seats fold down really flat, as you can see. You know, they've never done me wrong. I've always been able to get everything I could possibly want in here by putting them down and giving me essentially a platform system. I've already done the rear portion of the platform when I mounted the Ice Coast slide, and that works great. I'd like to put a little access door in that. And I want to do this full seat delete. And this section of the platform I'd like to do just like Goose Gear, where you can do half and half, so you can have a seat in here just in case I need a seat. I'd really like to do that. By the way, if you're not following Fly Fisher 530, Mike just has done I think we're in part 3 or 2 or 3 of his platform build. And man, is his looking good. It's really looking good. Mike, if you don't mind, maybe when I get back from this trip, I'm going to pick your brain about your platform. Your video is really good, though. There's not much brain picking to do. Pretty step by step. So if you haven't seen Mike over Fly Fisher 530, check him out and check his video about the platform system if you're interested. He's got the JK, so it's going to be a little bit different. But the processes that he's going through and the way he's doing it really works. So I think I'm gonna have to pick your brain, Mike. Maybe we can just talk about it, and I can pick your brain when we're overlanding for Warriors in November for Veterans Day. But maybe before that, because maybe I'll get the platform done by overlanding for Warriors. Anyway, just about finished here. So I'll finish this and we'll get the shelf in, and then we will show you where everything goes. All right, install of the shelf shouldn't take but 5 or 10 minutes. I've had this shelf for about 4 years, and I've had it in and out of the Jeep probably 20 times. I'm not even exaggerating. Very simple to go back in. Got my trusty official tool roll with my tools and the parts and tools that we need. And yes, for the observant folks, I've had to change my hat because it's so hot and sweaty out and humid that I'm ruining the other one. It was soaking wet. So we'll see how long this one lasts. I'm about to have to make for a second shirt in this video. All done. 6 bolts are in. Sweating my butt off. Not going to put the fridge in today just because I'm not leaving today, and that's like the last thing that goes in. For now, I'll show you everything else that goes in and where it goes. Don't go anywhere. Real quick, a couple things that are always in the Jeep. The tool rolls, the official tool rolls, multiple tools, additional tools, plus everything I need to change a tire in the green one, the bottle jack obviously, and my chalk that I also have to use for the bottle jack to give it extra height. Those are always, always, always in the Jeep. Never, ever out of the Jeep. Here's a couple of my medical kits. This one's more of a trauma, has a lot more trauma-related stuff. And on this side, I just got at the Pacific Northwest Expo, and it's more of generic, everyday stuff. It's got some trauma stuff in it too, and it just rips away. Unclip here and pull here, and it rips out. And on the one over there, I just have to unsnap 2 of the molly panel things and rip it off. It's not fully mollied on. It's purposefully not fully mollied on, so you can pull it off very quickly. And then one last thing that's always, always, always in the Jeep is the NOCO. It's for jump starting your car when you have a dead battery. Let's see if I have been a diligent person. And yes, it is fully charged. Luckily, it was fully charged. I pulled it out. Shows that I'm diligently making sure things are charged. Not really, just got lucky, but I'm glad it's fully charged. I do make an attempt to make sure things like that are not only in the Jeep but ready to work when you need them, and you never know when you're going to need them. Those are things that are always in the Jeep. Now let me put together everything that isn't always in the Jeep and goes for camping trips, and I'll show you all of it together, and then I'll show you where it all goes. It's humid. Keep saying it, I know. Decided to only ruin one shirt. I'll have ruined 2 hats by the time this is over, so. All right, this is everything that goes in the Jeep. First thing I want to do is just make it look really simple and just snap my fingers, and everything's where it's supposed to be now. It's really kind of cool. If only it were that easy. So all of this, believe it or not, fits inside the Jeep. Yeah, this is basically what I use the camp with on every trip. So here we go. What goes where? First thing I'm going to do is put the chair in the privacy tent along the window, which I think I discussed in my gear video. That's where I keep them, but that's where these go. Let's get these in fast. Next thing that usually goes into the tables, and I think I talked about that in the video as well. They go along the window on that side. Next thing that usually goes in, and this is controversial, and we'll talk about this just for 1 second, the propane tank. The Ignic system comes with this amazing carrier for the propane tank and the fire can. A lot of people will say don't ever carry propane inside your car, and I would agree with them to some extent. You shouldn't necessarily do it, especially if your car is all enclosed all the time with no ventilation or no windows down, which I constantly have my windows down. And you certainly shouldn't be smoking or lighting any kind of flame inside your vehicle when carrying propane. Barring either of those 2 things, I don't see this as a problem. And I've been carrying my propane inside my vehicle for 5 years. So I've been doing it, and I'm going to continue to do it. Now, the Ignic tank just so happens to fit perfectly up inside here. And it's standing upright, which is very important. You don't want to lay a propane tank on its side. I will continue to carry my propane. It gets strapped in when it's time to leave. When I'm packing it up, when I'm actually leaving, I strap this in, so it's safe. These go in front of them, the Linux levelers. These come in handy at every campsite. If you don't have these, rocks or branches or sticks will work perfectly fine, and I've used rocks a million times. But I just recently purchased these because it just makes it that much easier. I think I've started to put the Dr. Prepare shower in my kit, especially for a longer trip. But if I'm out there long enough and I want to take a shower, I could use this to take a shower. That would go right there. My power jacker usually gets in here first as well, early on at least. And again, it gets strapped in with 4 straps, so that it's perfectly rock solid in there. It's not going anywhere in case of an accident. The other thing that goes in the shelf here is the dry goods kit. And I usually try to get it in there fairly early in the process as well. It's a little tricky. And sometimes I even get this in there before the seat, the chair, and the privacy tent, because strapping it in, I just use bungee cords because there's nothing really heavy in here. The other power supply, depending on if it's a two-person trip or a one-person trip, and probably 75 to 80% of my trips are one person. On a one-person, the 1000 goes on the floorboard in the passenger side in the front. On a two-person, it goes dead center, right between the seats, facing forward, so that you can access the ports from either the passenger or the driver's seat, and that's where we're going to put it right now. The boxes are probably what would go in next. Basically, these hold my camp kitchen, and then these go in like so, and they're double stacked. As I said, they're double stacked. So I'm not going to do it right now, but when I wire in the Jackery 500, I will wire power around this corner to the 12 volt here at the back of the Jeep, which will charge the battery while we're driving. And then I will also run the cable that's going to go from the Jackery 500 to the fridge along this side and down, and bring it in back here, so that when I do put the fridge in, just plug it in. I do a few special things with the cord so that it's not in the way when it slides in and out. Really just left to go in are tools. Obviously my Devos light, the Light Ranger, goes in last, because what if I need it? If you pull into camp late, you're gonna need it first. Having it on top of everything else is really important, so it goes in last. The tools over here, all these tools are gonna go right inside this door. They're all situated on this side of the section in the middle, and they go in a certain way. The compressor goes in where I can get to it. Got DeWalt drills and got a shovel. Got the block for the tire, shot for the tire. Can go just about anywhere I can get it to fit. Actually, those go there, this goes here, this can go there. Obviously the tool bags are going to go in this area neatly, and the jack I will oftentimes strap in the very end, because it's a dangerous item as well, to the jack floating around in there. Hatchet, toilet. Hatchet can just go right here. Toilet can go right here on top, just because it's not. You might need a toilet, an emergency, you never know. So it goes on top of the compressor. My Max Tracks, they're not Max Tracks, they're the knockoff version, but they've worked just as well. On the back tire goes sometimes these, the Trasharoo. Also, I have the Rock Slide mounting system that wraps around the tire. It's got a strap that ratchets down, and you can put the Rotopacks on that for gas and water. I do that almost every trip. And again, the Trasharoo is for trash and camp. So these things all go on the back tire, which I'm trying to remedy. I'm probably going to purchase at one point very soon the rack for the windows, the back windows, to put fuel and water, and maybe the Max Tracks, and maybe a shovel and an axe. We'll see. So these things I'm just going to move out of the way because they go on the back tire. You've probably seen that in videos. So really, the only thing left is to put the fire can in. This is brand new. I bought this at Pacific Northwest. It's a Tailgater tire table company, and they build windscreens for all the camp kitchen stoves that you can imagine. I bought the second to largest one, I think it is. I don't think it's the largest, but it's pretty big. So I can put my camp kitchen all the way inside of it, move around it, have stuff around it as well. And I did use it one night at Pacific Northwest, and it was great. So that's going to start going with me on longer trips, because you never know when you're gonna have some wind involved. And you know, if it's too windy, you just go to bed, or you just get in the tent, or you just sit in the Jeep. But if it's just a little bit windy, you still want to cook, you can use this. So also, that goes back here still are the and I have 3 of these. So the Jackery Solar Saga 100 watt solar panels, they go right alongside this. And I'll show you. They're gonna go this area. And we're gonna put this battery in here. Locks that in place. Again, this is strapped in. All that's taken care of, and that leaves a little bit of room for camera gear and luggage and any other dry foods or whatever. As you can see, it's all in the Jeep. It's all in the Wrangler, except for the light. My baby. And it just kind of goes back here. And goes that Wrangler. That's where everything goes, folks. It all actually does fit. All that gear that was right here is now in this Jeep. Minus the refrigerator, which the way that goes is the night before I stock the fridge, I put it here in the garage, I plug it into the garage, and I let it get cold. And then right before I leave, I will take that fridge and put it in the Jeep on its slide and plug it into the Jackery 500 almost the minute we're ready to close the door and go. So that goes in very, very fast, and then that's why there's space for that to happen. There are some other little things that go in there, as I said. There's some bags with cords for charging. There's all the camera gear that's being used right now that goes back there, usually on the passenger seat or the floorboard, so that I can get to it quickly while traveling if I want to use it. So the purpose of this video is not only to show you how I pack and what I pack and where it all goes, but to let you all know that I'm heading out on a trip. I think I leave in 2 days. It's about 30 days, give or take 2 or 3 days. And I'm going all the way to Alabama with my buddy Ron, following him out there. He's taking his boat. As you may know, if you've been watching the channel long enough, he splits his time between Alabama and California in his retirement. So I'm going to go out there and check out where he's staying. He's going to show me a bunch of places out there. We're going to go fishing, and we're probably going to do some camping. We're going to do some hanging out and some good eating. On the way there, I have a couple of campsites that I'll show you. Arizona, New Mexico, Kansas, and maybe Arkansas. And then on the way back, I'm going to go up north, and that'll leave for a later date. But I'd like you guys to maybe follow along with the channel, with the lives and the shorts. Hopefully you'll understand where I'm at, and you can follow along on this trip. So one more time, like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you in the next video.